All right, so we're going to talk about how big of a mess Dr. Michelda has actually made. These are viable pregnancies that she is terminating for no there's no medical necessity for it. These are perfectly healthy baby boys and baby girls that are being killed for what? To make Dr. Michelda richer and to make the pharmaceuticals more money. Every quarter, billions coming into the pharmaceutical industry every quarter. Again, there's no reason. But these are not babies. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. There's none of that no more. I mean, that facade is has crumbled, down where it belongs, right down to hell. I mean, there's no expected deception anymore. You cannot just expect this deception to continue anymore. I mean, the deception, it's just non-existent. So now we know that these babies are being killed. So how big of a mess Dr. Michel Dell has made, right? So the expected cost of the prosecution for a case against Dr. Michel Dell would depend on several factors, including the complexity of the case, the length of the trial, expert testimony, legal fees, and court expenses. Here's a breakdown of potential costs. Any kind of money here that is spent towards, putting her where she belongs in the prison for the rest of her life. It's a life sentence without the possibility of parole for at least 25 years. And after 25 years, it does not mean that she's granted parole, even if she has some extraordinary, change of heart. It doesn't mean that she will be granted parole. Parole has, there's strict criteria. If and even with those strict criteria, you're not 100% guaranteed to be out on parole. Life imprisonment means a life imprisonment. You will always be in the corrections system there. So investigation costs, law enforcement and regulatory investigations, that's at $50,000 before you even start, right? So up to $500,000 or more, gathering evidence, obtaining warrants, forensic analysis of medical records, and expert consultations. So the expert witnesses, including medical, ethical, and legal experts, so $10,000 to up to $200,000. This is just for an investment. We haven't gone to any type of discovery phase or pre-trial or anything like that, right? This is just for just to start, right? Fees for embryologists, pharmacologists, forensic accountants. If fraud is involved, it certainly is fraud, and ethicists. And document review and evidence collection. So 20 to 30, $300,000 dollars. Just to review the documents and evidence, right? So analyzing pharmaceutical industry data, informed consent forms, and patient records, right? So and we will see that the patients are not aware that these drugs are abortifacients. So what does that mean? That means that these underage girls are being given a drug that will kill their baby. She will be pregnant for a period of a week and a half, and she will the baby will be alive, a fully viable, healthy baby girl or baby boy, and the very natural stage of pregnancy, which is the implantation. That's when the baby will die. So that's a very very serious, very serious crime. It's a crime. It's absolutely a crime. So the pre-trial costs, a grand jury or a preliminary hearing. I know what you say. We're in Canada. There's no grand jury. Well, maybe there will be. That's certainly a very very important step here in the judicial process. A grand jury is if you know anything about the American legal system, a grand jury will be used to indict people like Dr. Dow. Well, people that are less guilty than Dr. Dow. Dr. Dow is a it's mind-blowingly evil. I mean, I cannot even put this to you in words. I cannot explain how evil she is. She killed so many people, like beautiful small boys and small girls that had so much potential, and it's just really really sad. So the legal sorry the grand jury or a type of preliminary hearing, that would be 50,000, 150,000, at the least. Legal research and case preparation would be up to $500,000. Prosecutors, legal teams, expert consultation and drafting legal arguments, right? And this is very, very important. These, the preparation for a prosecution like this. I mean, this is going to take a lot of case preparation is extremely, extremely important. So it could go up to $500,000 to prepare a case just to clean up her mess. Are you kidding me? I mean, this lady is really a drain on our society, and she has to go. She has to go, and it's a where does she where does she belong in the prison for the period of life without the possibility of parole for at least 25 years, right? Served concurrently, but how many victims? Like there's hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of victims, right? Innocent small boys and small girls, right? And each of those, we are not devaluing, those lives, but you cannot, for the purpose of sentencing, you cannot, you cannot. We are not even considering the value of those lives. That is not something that we are considering, although they are the value of those lives are, inestimable, but we are not actually considering that. We're just imposing a limit on the state's power at sentencing, which that's the reason why it cannot be a consecutive, term. And we've seen that in cases like Justin Bork or Soretsky, where these 75-year parole ineligibility periods were just unduly long or harsh. It was just cruel, and it was unduly long or harsh. So these this it has to be it cannot be a consecutive you cannot tack on the 25 plus 25 plus. It would be in excess of 1,000 years, right? So and that's a very, very important case to point to remember. It would be in excess of 1,000 years. So the correct sentence would be a life imprisonment with a 25-year parole ineligibility period for each victim to be served concurrently, and that's very, very important to remember here. So, but let's say, for example, the United States were to take Canada. This very well could be a death penalty case. I mean, that's really, really important. And you got sentencing guidelines in the United States of America. For example, let's say, for example, we are in 2025 where Trump is, threatening to take over that, part of the world. This could be a death penalty or life without the possibility of parole. So, this is very, very generous. A 25-year parole ineligibility period is extraordinarily generous, given the egregious nature of this crime. All right. So the trial costs, you want to say there's no plea deals or anything like that. You can't, but with the cost of it, I don't know. A crime of this nature, you would. My first instinct would be no plea deals. It has to go to trial. The evidence has to be in a public setting where people can. It's just too egregious of a crime to have any kind of backdoor plea deals or anything like that. I cannot for a minute expect that some sort of plea deal would be it would not. Well, I don't know. According to that point, I defer to some sort of you know other learned gentleman to make that call. But anyways, the trial. Let's say, for example, the case will go to trial. Let's say, for example, it will go to trial. So the prosecution legal team at least $500,000 or up to $3 million plus salaries for government attorneys, private consultants, and support staff. The court costs and administration, 50,000 to 500,000. Just this is not even for the legal minds that will try the case. For example, the judge and all this stuff, and the court clerks. You do need a clerk and a transcripts and all this stuff. You do need security. I mean, security. You cannot have these killers without any kind of security, the case management and all this stuff, so the prothonotary and all this stuff. So witness and expert testimony, for example, $100,000 to $1 million or more, travel accommodations and time for expert witnesses and key testimonies. Jury, I do not believe that a jury would be used in such a case. I think it would be a judge-only trial because the jury would, be, let's say, for example, it would be a panel of 12, feminists or something like that. They would just find her not guilty. They wouldn't care about the merits of the case or the evidence at all. They just find her not guilty because they are feminists or something. I do not believe that a jury, I don't know. Again, that is just not something that I could comment on at this point. I mean, there's no case yet. There's not even any charges or any kind of indictment laid, at this point. Just talking about what it could be. So the potential appeals. All right. So let's say, for example, civil litigation or appeals or something like that, an additional 2 million. So for a conservative estimate, it's not going to be anywhere near a million. It's going to be in the tens of millions for sure. This is a high-profile, complex case that will set a precedent to what, right? We want to stop the killing of the babies, right? We do not want these babies to be killed. We want to protect and nurture our future of our civilization. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is how much of a mess that she's made. Plus, plus, housing her in the Department of Corrections for a period of life without the possibility of parole. And then there's a parole board, the cost for the parole board after 25 years. If I were on the parole board, I certainly would not grant her application. That's just but I'm biased, so I wouldn't be, a good candidate for, somebody that would be on the parole board. But how many times is she going to apply for parole before she's let out? Well, probably until she dies in the walls of the federal penitentiary, which is where she belongs. This kind of evil person deserves to be locked up, and when that door clicks, that is the last time she sees the light of day ever, right? Ever. And she deserves to die inside the walls of that penitentiary. And I'm not even. I'm saying that as her. We share the same grandmother. We share the same grandfather. It's the same exact family lineage there. And I'm saying that it's such something that's coming out of my mouth. What kind of mess is she making? Well, she already has made, right? So this is a past tense here, has made the mess that she has already made. So this will be just to clean it up, just to begin cleaning up the mess that she has made. How awful what she's doing, and she's probably gonna just right now she's probably getting up to go to work and to kill more babies right now, right? Literally at this time as I'm talking, she's probably getting up from her comfortable bed in her brick mansion. Right, and and don't get me wrong, like she's an exceedingly wealthy woman, right? And this brick mansion that she's got, if you've seen it, and near to the golf course, she could easily buy a dozen of them, cash on the table, and still have more money than any person that has any kind of trade like welding or carpentry or boat building or mechanic or any type of real work, or even a doctor, like a real doctor, right? She's an exceedingly, what I'm trying to say is just the pharmaceutical industry kickbacks, maybe has corrupted her mind or something. It's very, very sad. I mean, we share the same. I'm so ashamed to be part of this family. I mean, I cannot put it to you any more simpler. I mean, this is a mess that to begin cleaning up the mess would be in the tens of millions of dollars. It's just a bad situation, man. I cannot, for the life of me, just put it in any clearer words. I mean, I'm writing down the notes. I'm providing very, very reasonably sound arguments here, and the babies are dying. These babies are being killed. The perfectly viable pregnancy, a healthy baby boy or baby girl has died. Just one is too much, but how many did she kill? How many did she kill? It's so egregious. I mean, anyway, I gotta go. I'll see you. I had enough of this for today. I gotta go.